Hi, this is a video that I'm going to do for people that may feel kind of out of balance, like one side is working, one side's not. I feel rotated, I feel like my body just doesn't feel quite right, but also for anyone who has low back pain. I'm going to call it pelvic balancing. It's more trying to turn on certain muscles and trying to recreate a neuromuscular control, like that mind-muscle connection between certain muscles of the pelvis. What that will mean is that a lot of the exercises are unilateral, which means only done on the one side. For this, so I want to do a short one, like 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30. For this one, you need a ball. If you have one, you can use a cushion, you can use a towel, anything that you can press on but it won't close together. So like a kid's toy. And I've got a box here which I'm going to use, but you can use the edge of the couch, something where you can lie down on the floor and put your feet up on it at about 90 degrees. Even the wall would be okay. Okay, so just grab your towel or your cushion or whatever it is that you have, and you're going to lie down on your right hand side. Make sure you're lying on your right hand side. So you want your knees at about a 90-degree angle to your hip, and then bring them up a little bit more towards your chest. You want the ball or the pillow or the towel or whatever it is between your knees. You want to try and make sure that you're not rolled backwards. So I really think about just trying to make sure that my shoulder's directly underneath my other shoulder. My right shoulder's directly underneath my left shoulder. Ribs are drawing in. And then I'm just going to lift my top leg up. When I did that, it felt like my ball wasn't quite in the right spot, so I'm just going to change it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and use these glute muscles to pull my top pelvis backwards at the same time as breathing out through a pursed lip, like I'm blowing out a candle, keeping my ribs facing forward. So when I roll my pelvis backwards, I don't want to take my ribs with me. So I'm going to take a breath in, and as I breathe out through a pursed lip, I'm rolling my top leg backwards, my left leg backwards. I don't want to feel this in here, in my front hip. I want to feel this at the back. If you're feeling it in the front hip, you might need to bring your knees a little bit closer to your chest. You might need to bring the ball a little bit closer to your groin, or the towel, whatever it is. Just try and make sure that you're not feeling it in this front hip. So I keep the top hand forward when I'm not checking what's happening in my groin, just to make sure that I'm not rolling backwards with my pelvis. So breathing in, and you're going to breathe out. I want you to breathe all the air out until you feel your pelvic floor and your abdominals turn on. And I can breathe quite a bit of air out. So I want to be feeling that here, at the back of my hip, so my glute basically. So what just happened with my body, which might happen with yours, is that my top leg wasn't high enough. So my ball effectively actually needs to be blown up a little bit. And that's why I kept feeling it in my groin. You might not have any of these problems, but you might have them all like me, so it's fun just to go through them one at a time. We're going to do 3 more. Breathing out. Making sure that you feel it at the back of your top hip. Breathe in, release. Breathe out. You can do up to 15 reps of those if that feels good on your body. Now I'm going to bring my box up. You can lie down on the floor and put your feet up on the wall or on a couch, cushion, anything that is about the height of the box. It actually would be better if my legs were exactly at 90 degrees, but it's not an option for me right now, so I'm just going to work with what I have. My heels are digging into the box. I'm trying to keep my hips close to being directly underneath my knees, but a little bit further back because I want to be working through my hamstrings. So you want to think about pressing your heels down into the box. Think of pressing the left heel into the box. The right one just kind of sits there. And I want a little bit of a squeeze on the ball. So you've got a little bit of a squeeze with your inner thighs, but not a hard one, just a little bit. So you're really just holding the ball there and a little bit more than that. And we're going to do the breathing again. Try not to really dorsiflex, try not to really pull your ankles or your feet towards you because you'll get tired in the shin. Just let your feet relax. So stretch your Achilles, put your heels down and then let your feet relax. And then you're going to push your heel, your left heel down into the box, like you're trying to drag the box to you or you to the box. And as you breathe out, just like you were before, all of the air. Breathe in, release. And breathe out. Press that left heel into the box, like you're about to do a pelvic curl, but you don't. You just activate the muscles. The right leg isn't doing a lot, but you can visualize the knee moving towards the roof. You should feel this strongly through the back of your left leg, through your left oblique, which is the left side waist, and the left abdominals. Breathing in. One more. Breathe out. Now we're going to actually lift the bottom in the pelvic curl, so breath in. And then breathing out, use the pressure of the foot onto the box to bring your body up. I'm not going to go all the way, I'm only going to go about halfway. Breathe in, hold, breathe out to lower back down. If it's painful for you to do that, just stick with the one before. If it's painful to curl your back, just lift. Don't worry about curling. Breathing in, breathing out. All of the air out until you feel your abdominals. Inhale, exhale to lower down. Relaxing the pelvis in neutral, breathing in. Breathing out. To add on to this, breath in, breathe out, lower down. We're going to extend the right leg. Breathing in. Breathe out, digging that left heel in. Peeling the spine up. You're going to extend the right leg and just hold for kind of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Breath in and breathe out to lower down. That should feel quite strong. I'm only going to do that one more time because it is really strong. If you're at that level, don't do too many. Breath in. Breathing out. 10. Keep breathing as you count. 3, 2, 1. Breath in. Breathing out. Nice one. Okay, in this position, I want you just to put your feet kind of on the edge of the box or the chair. If they're on the wall, they can just stay on the wall. Just place your ball down beside you, somewhere where it won't roll away, but if it does, don't worry. And I want you to just imagine that you're resting, like really rest your legs so that your feet are just resting on the block. And then I want you to gently try and drag your feet away from each other. Don't push the chair or the wall away. Don't push on it. Think about resting, and then just gently, like you're sliding your feet outwards without rolling your ankles. And you should feel your pelvis or your hips enlarge, like your bum's getting bigger. And you should feel a bit of an opening at the front of the groin. You want to stay in a neutral pelvis. That means you don't want to tuck under. You want to keep your tailbone heavy on the mat as you just gently drag your feet away from each other and feel your glutes or your butt enlarge, inflate, like it's getting bigger. It's very subtle. So if you push too hard, you will turn on muscles we don't want to be turning on at this stage, which I just did. So to correct that, I had to back off a bit. So really think about just gently drawing them apart. What you will eventually feel, I'm just holding it here, is work happening up the back of the thigh. It won't be very strong. It's just a small muscle group. Once you feel that work happening, which I'm starting to now, we can just let it go. Okay, I'm going to take the box off. Place the ball down. You're going to lie back down on your right hand side. We're going to do our progression of clown exercise. So this is for the glute med. So this time, if you are lying on a mat, you want to have your back lined up against the mat. So your shoulder, your back, your bottom, everything lined up against the back of the mat so that you know that you're in a straight line. You want your knees in line with your hips, so there's a 90-degree angle at the hip and a 90-degree angle at the knee. You want to try and lift your waist and lengthen the top waist. So lengthen the top pelvis away, the left pelvis really reaches away. And then you're going to lift that leg up just a little bit higher than hip height. Try and keep your tummy drawing in. Keep your hand on the mat. And then you're just going to lower it down to hip height. In this position in hip height, I want you to visualize your knee reaching towards me or towards the camera, away from your pelvis. I want you to think of letting it turn in a little bit. I've let mine turn in a little bit, as you can see my foot kind of went up, but not so much that my whole body moved. Just enough that it's still sitting in the hip and the rest of the body is staying stationary. I want to visualize that my whole leg is cut in half down the center, and the inner thigh or the inside is really relaxed and not doing anything like a dead weight, and the outside is just inflating and doing the work. So you can just hold this here as an isometric contraction. If you start to feel things happening in your groin, like muscles turning on, you might need to go a little bit higher. You might need to bring your knee toward your chest a little bit more. You might need to bend your knee a little bit more. But you might need to roll your hip forward or even back a little bit. What we can do now is go into an exercise. We're going to breathe out to lift the knee. Breathe in lower. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in lower. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in. The work should be happening from the glute, from the top of the hip. It should be diffuse. You shouldn't really be able to pinpoint where it's happening from. If you can, you're probably doing it right at your TFL. You're probably doing it right at that bony bit of your thigh, and we don't want that. So stop. Start again. If you still can't do it, don't do it. It's hard to find the setup of this exercise, but the setup is the most important. If you can't get the setup right, you need to don't do it. One more. And rest. So you can either just hold it or you can do your lift and lowers. That was about 12. You can do more, but I did enough so that my glute is really switched on and it felt like it was getting closer to fatigue. So now I'm going to go to the other side. But I'm going to change the exercise on this side. So I'm lying down on my left hand side, same idea. If I was lying in line with the back of my mat, or I'm going to set myself up so I am. I want my underneath waist a little bit lifted, my top pelvis reaching away, but this time I want my feet also in line with the back of the mat. So you want to make sure that your So you're not at that 90-degree angle anymore. We're just in a setup for clams, which is a very traditional Pilates exercise. So now you're going to start with a set of clams. So I want you just to put your right hand on your groin and just feel what's happening in there. If you feel a big rope pop up, which you probably will, it's working the front of your thigh, which ideally you don't want. So you might need, I'm just going to move forward so I don't fall off the cake, to roll your hip back a little bit so that you can let your top leg drop back into the hip so that that big rope isn't overpowering everything else, which it tends to do. It will still turn on a little bit. That's okay, but we don't want it to be the only thing that's working. You want to try and keep your bottom out and your chest proud without sticking out your ribs. You're going to keep your top hand on the mat because you're going to need it for the next couple of exercises. Going to do 2 more. Again, same idea. If you're only feeling this in that one spot, that bony bit of your hip, it's probably not utilizing the glute properly, and you'll need to either change your position or stop the exercise. I'm going to do 1 more and we're going to add on to it. Okay, so we're going to try and keep that pelvis really neutral. So try not to roll back this time, and you're going to open the top knee, and then keeping that pelvis really neutral, you can use your top hand to balance. You're going to lift the bottom leg and bring it up, and then lower both down. So you're going to open the top knee, use your hand for balance, use your abdominals for balance, and lift the left leg up to the right leg. So when you open the right leg, try not to roll back in the hip, breathing out, bottom leg up. I'm going to do that twice more, breathing in, open, breathe out. Good, last one. Shoulders down away from the ears. Use that top hand to help you balance. Try not to roll. And rest. Well done. You're going to come up onto your hands and knees now. Finding that neutral pelvis. Just going to stretch my wrist because it's tight from that exercise. If you feel like you're really uncomfortable resting on your wrists, you can set yourself up so that you have your couch in front of you or your box, and you can put your elbows on the box. I'm just going to stay on my hands and my knees. In this position, you want to try and make sure that your spine still has the natural curves, so you still have a rounded upper back and an arched lower back, but you don't want to drop into it. So I always imagine that my spine is just levitating above my shoulders and above my hips. So my pelvis is lifted above my hips, and when I breathe in, I want to try and breathe into the back of my lungs and the side of my ribs to try and get a little bit more of that lift. Think of your head as being an extension of your spine, so wherever your spine is, your head will follow. Your hands at the base of the triangle, your eyes are looking at the pinnacle of that triangle so you can keep your neck in its correct position. We're just going to start here with what we call cat paws. So using the abdominals, you can take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're just going to float one hand off the mat. Breathe in to lower it down. Breathe out to float the other hand off the mat. Breathe in lower. And the idea is that you don't really have any movement at all through the body. You can use a foam roller, some blocks, a ball, anything to place on your back to check if you are rocking and rolling. A pole, a broomstick, a golf club. Okay, so now we're going to do an opposite arm, opposite leg reach, but I'm going to extend both my arm and my leg. So I'm going to take my right arm and my left leg back behind me, and then come back down. We want to breathe in, prepare, and breathe out to extend. Breathing down. You want to draw the leg low along the floor using the hamstring and the glute to lift it up. Doesn't need to be a high lift. This is work for the core, not for the hip extensors so much. It's not the focus. 2 more, one each side, breathe out, reach. Breathing back to start position. Breathe out, reach. Shoulders are open, chest is lifted. Breathing in. Now you're going to tuck your toes under. Just going to take that off. We're going to go into a quadruped plank. Same position. Again, if your wrists are sore and you don't want to weight bear on them, grab a box, go near a couch, get a chair, put your elbows on the chair. We're going to take a breath in, keeping lifted through the chest. And as you breathe out, try and maintain your position. You're going to use your abdominals to float the knees just off the mat. With each breath, try and draw the abs in a bit more without changing your shape. Breathing in. Three more breaths. Two. Last one. And lower it down. Just sit back on your heels in your child's pose. Try not to let your head drop in between your hands. If you want your head on the mat, just bring your hands down by your sides. Just let your back rest. If this is too hard on your knees, just do a cat stretch on your hands and knees, rounding through the lower back, extending through the upper back, rounding through the lower back, extending through the upper back. And then we get you to do a glute stretch. You can do this a few different ways. I think I'm going to do it sitting cross-legged, but I'll show you how to do all the variations. So, sitting cross-legged, I've got my right leg in front of my left leg. I'm going to place my hands on the floor in front, and I'm going to visualize that I've got a piece of string coming out of my belly button, and it's being pulled forwards and up as I walk my hands forward. And I keep my shoulders away from my ears, my chest is open. And I'm sticking my bottom out. To make this stretch more intense, I can place my right foot on top of my left knee. A little bit like yogi, except only one side, not two. And just breathe into it with each exhale. Try and get a deeper stretch with your glutes. Sit into your hips. Feel your hips spreading, your sit bones spreading apart. Feel your chest opening up. This time we're going to round the back. So breathing in. Breathe out. Round your back. Reach a little bit further. Breathe into the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Alternatively, you can do this stretch by sitting on a chair or on the edge of a table, crossing the right ankle over the opposite knee and doing exactly what I did, leaning forward. You should feel that in that right glute. Or you can do it lying on your back, cross the right ankle over the left knee, draw the left thigh towards you, and try and keep your right glute on the mat. Coming up to the other side. It's always weird to cross your legs with your left leg in front, or at least with the non-dominant side in front. For me, that's my left. So I'm going to take my left side and put it on top and sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to walk my hands forward, thinking about that string coming out of my belly button. Side to side, I'm quite different. I feel like most people are. Don't worry, it's normal. We are not symmetrical beings, hence why a lot of these exercises have been very one-sided. We'll do 3 more breaths. Focusing on deepening into the stretch with the exhale, thinking of length through the back of the neck, length through the spine, breathe into the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. And breathing out. Rounding it back now, reaching a little bit further forward. Breathing. Breathing out. And just sitting up. And hopefully that feels a little bit more balanced, like everything feels a little bit more switched on and your back feels a little bit more stable and supported. Thanks for joining me.